my guess was in general that Bitcoin's going to stay, hovering or below this origin line. I just found something in the charts that's suggesting that might not be the case, and the daily 21 up higher, where I have marked up here, might be the play over the next week. However, it's all going to ride on if the S&P 500 and stocks can close Friday strong. So let's dive in and check it out. All right. Maybe I need to get out of the habit of guessing micro time frame stuff, because this is going to be 2 times in a row that but I'm anticipating being wrong ahead of being wrong here. But I found something in the charts that is suggesting that Bitcoin is going to ride the origin line instead of use it as resistance. So not necessarily use it as support, then blast off, but ride it in a way that, just some sloppy price action, something to this effect. And the time axis of that could be, 5 or 7 or 10 days. So between all of next week or into the week after next week. And if that happens, I want to be very clear. I've been showing, I did a little tweet on Twitter, like I had shorts in profit with my stops in profit type deal. So even if things go up, I can't lose, but I don't want that type of information to influence anybody to think everything's going down who doesn't know how to use risk management. So I want to be very clear. If Bitcoin, goes sloppy sideways, nothing fantastic, but just go sideways for 5 days, Bitcoin dominance is dropping and alts can really go up. Ethereum could go up to 1740. That'd be a 10% move. If Bitcoin just touches its daily 21 EMA, that's a 5% move on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. When that happens, and Bitcoin even makes a small move up over a week, alts can do triple or quadruple that percentage. Especially hot alts like Matic and Atom. And I mean, even Ethereum's been hot. Ethereum could go up 10% easily over next week if that's the play. So what I want to do to start off here is I want to show you what made me doubt my idea in the first place. So I was just on a VIP call and I was staring at something as we're talking about economic data, and I was looking at RSI as everybody was having the discussion, and so I'm going to show you that first. What made me doubt this, and then given that information, what targets that it's going to have up high, and what time frame targets that way on the time axis is it going to have, and then I'll show you that stuff second. So let me dive into. I'm going to use the 8-hour chart. So for folks with free Tradingview who try to emulate what I'm doing on here, which is a good idea, to try to if I draw a triangle, you draw a triangle and make it black and make it black exactly like I do. But for free Tradingview, I don't think you have access to the 8-hour chart. So just a heads up in advance, this is what I found. And as we're doing that, just remember links to the Discord community in the description section, and Cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward on Twitter if you want to see me post some information out there on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and the stock market. And also there's a join button below most of my videos, and a comical 90-second video will pop up describing what the YouTube tiers are and how they're different than Discord. All right. I'm going to take off these EMAs. I don't want to go into that. That was another thing we're doing on the VIP call. Okay, so I was looking at, on the 8-hour chart, I went to the RSI. I might not be able to emulate this because I think I deleted the areas I earmarked, but in general, I see the RSI on the 8-hour, and actually, let me show you the whole thing. So for newer viewers, green zone, red zone, this is very bearish zone, and it's so I'm looking for, and there's a big difference between dropping down to the top of the red zone and the mid, and then like from here on, it's all very bearish. So I'm looking in the past, looking left, other times where it went halfway or deeper into the red zone, this 8-hour, and with the assumption that the stock market, I think, will go down within 14 days, that means the 8-hour would have hit, it probably wouldn't have gotten much over this white line. So it either bumped it. So looking in the past for something similar to where the 8-hour got here and it ran for a week or two, it would bump its head on the red or white or somewhere in between. So that's what I looked for. Let's see if I can find it again. Oh, and in addition to that, what I was concentrating on is, specifically, it's a wider RSI jump that jumps very cleanly on this EMA. That's important too. So the depth with which it fell, and it cleanly gets on this EMA, and it doesn't just, do bull market type of shit, running out of here. So clean, deep down, clean jumps, and ends about here, and doesn't go to a big tear up, because I don't think that's going to happen. So I went back in time with that in mind. Gosh, let's see if I can find it. That looks those are pretty clean jumps. It did bump its head and went down. So I think I went from here, maybe this might be one, to here. Why can't I make a vertical line? There we go. And there was another one. So this one's kind of similar. It goes more than halfway down, but these aren't clean jumps. And it made a lower high. So I don't think... it did end up bumping on the white line, but I don't like this. This doesn't look similar to what it's doing. I don't think it was that one. Let's see. I know there's one more. See if I can find it. I don't know if I went this far back. Oh yeah, maybe I did. There it is. This guy. I think this was it. Or no. It was this one. Right next to it. Shit. Right there. So it goes deep down into the red zone. Clean bounces. And they're higher highs, higher lows. And ends between the white and the red. And goes down. So I'll actually take it from there to there. All right, now check this out. I think that was it. We'll find out though. Yeah, it was it. Perfect. Yes. Okay. So take a fractal here. Now you're gonna have to bear with me dragging this damn thing out. I have to zoom out, drag it all the way over. So much for having my chart set up. But I want to show you the process I went through, right? So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to anticipate how that RSI is moving now and use that information to have the most probable way it's getting ready to move. Similar to what I do on price, right? If price is moving like such and such, then it's probable it's going to keep doing this. And so given that I could start on the RSI, and if I find a couple of those that meet the anticipation, given the current information, did I stretch this out? Maybe not. All right, somewhere, so from bottom, so that I did it from the bottom to the top, about like that. So let's see, about like this actually. There we go. And then the second one is right here. And this just turned into a stable coin. And what was it also writing? An origin line. See that? And it fell afterward, which is what I'm thinking. And the RSI on the 8-hour looks identical. Yeah, this was a battle on the origin line before a big drop. So check this out. Gosh, that would move sideways for them for a lot longer. Gee whiz. All right, so bottom to top. There we go. I like that. All right, I'm going to make that one a different color. I'm going to make that one orange and this one blue. Now, let's look at the time axis. So I know you can't really see price and it's getting a little sloppy, but the price candle currently is roughly right here. So I'm going to measure out how many days the orange one would be. That wasn't the same one, but it's just right in the origin line. It could go sideways for a while. Wow, that would be a month. Holy cow. And this one here, it would be a small bounce on SPX, then it goes down. That'd be a week, right? So the time axis from a week to a month is possible here with that 8-hour RSI formation. And then what do they both roughly hit? if this, in this case, and then I'll identify what is it that they hit, what is driving price below, what is the EMA coming down on it at this point. And then after I identify what that is, I'll look back and see, does that make sense previously? Did that same EMA push price down, regardless of an origin line, just before a big drop? Did price touch it and then go down? So we'll do that. All right, so this is a multi-step process, but you're able to watch me do it in front of you, as opposed to just having there is advantage to bearing with me here. A lot of times, even my own analysis, I'll have the chart prepped and I could throw information at you, throw information too fast, and it's like, wait, what am I really dealing with here? What's the point? So you watch me go through this now. I already identified this, so thank goodness I already know this part. You don't have to bear with me to hunt for it, but it's the daily 21. So let me go down to the hour chart, and throw on my daily 21. Is that it? Yep. Boom. And the daily 21 gets the heights of both of them. And this one the blue one would hit the daily 21, then go down. The other one would hit the daily 21, keep it steady, wick above it, and then go down. That would be the yellow line right there in that case. So it hits it a couple times before going down, right? So now let's look back and say, hey, does it make sense for a price to want to hit the 21 and go sideways to go reach it before then going down? Does that even happen? And so let's, what time frame should I be on? Let's go to the 8-hour chart. Why not? But I do have the daily 21 on. So even though I'm on the 8 hour, this is daily 21. All right, so let's look back and get rid of these. Actually, the same fractal that I just took. So yeah, this is one of my fractals. So in that case, was the 21 messed with price? Did price touch it or want to go up to touch it and then drop? It did. It did it after the fractal I took, but that's still what occurred during that 8-hour RSI stuff that I was looking out for. It raced up to the 21. And what was it getting ready to go under? Look, it was writing what? An origin line. So this is a very similar scenario. And it went above the daily 21. Similar to how one of those fractals had it going above it at the end. All right, so let's take a look here. Another origin line, dropping below this origin line. Did it toy with the 21 before dropping below this origin line? Yeah, once. I mean, really, twice, 3 times, 4 times. It even did the last one for good measure before going down. Shit. So this is a solid line for being the thing that pushes price below the origin line. And in my previous videos where I talk about EMAs pushing price below, I only picked the daily 10 and the weekly 10, but the daily 21 might be a better one. I probably made a small error in just historically looking at what is the best one line to look at if price is going to get squeezed below origin line. What's the one most likely thing that's going to squeeze it? I think it might be the daily 21, or at least as of recently. So, all right, so let's look back. Falling down the previous origin line. So this is going back to January. So January of this year, as it was falling below this origin line, did it want to toy with it? Yeah, it went below the origin line and then wicked up to touch it before falling. So it wanted to touch it before going. I mean, that's a lot in a row, isn't it? Next origin line, toying with another origin line, made another triangle. Did it touch it right before going down? Hell yeah, it did. Whew. I don't know how much farther back y'all want to go, but here was so Wyckoff was a lot different. I just fell from it. So that was ending a bull market. So that's not even the same thing. Let's do the previous bear market. So that fell below an origin line, fell below an origin line, fell below an origin line. So those aren't the same. So those 3 in a row, it didn't. Something else more, well, yeah, I mean, something else pushed it below. Maybe it was the daily 10 here in the previous bear market. Here we go. Here's another one. So once price started slowing down a little deeper into the bear market, This is 2018, maybe October. Where is this? No, it's May 2018. All right, bouncing on an origin line, and it reaches up to touch the 21 right before it drops. So that's a lot of them. It's not every one though. So let's go to current price. Has price already touched it as it's riding the origin line? Because that would give it reason, not to need to touch it. So get rid of these fractals. It hasn't touched it yet since it's riding the origin line. It looks like it's going to go reach it. So I think I am the timing of my bearishness. I mean, it's got a chance to be totally wrong. It might ride this for significantly longer and want to touch this. So if I put a pin in that, now that I'm showing you how, it's fairly high probability that's going to get hit. It's not guaranteed, but let's say it hits it tomorrow. That would be a big spike up on Bitcoin. Let's say it hits it, interacts with it on early next week. Or wicks above next week. That's still 21. Hitting it exactly is 20,800, but that's still a decent move up. It hits it next week down lower. That's 4%. And if we look at Bitcoin dominance, which is not, I'm actually really surprised we're this deep into a bear market with Bitcoin dominance at all-time lows. You know what that means? That means a lot more pain is ahead. Bitcoin dominance has to go up. That means alts have got to drop way lower and way faster. Have you thought about that? Or let's look at the chart. Look at this. Check this out. Why is my chart funky? There it is, 12-hour chart. Take this off. Look at that. Do you think Bitcoin dominance is supposed to freaking look like that if you're deep into a bear market? When does it usually hit that? Let's look at this. What do you think happened right after this line? In May, let's say the 16th of May last year. What happened? Last May. Wyckoff. What happened? Bitcoin went from $55,000 to $29,000 in like a day. It was really fast. It was insane. And I was out gardening with a bunch of people saying, "Where are you?" It happened during the day. I was out gardening. Because I was late. So yeah, in May 20th, I was planting my garden about a week later than I was really supposed to for optimal yield. I have a small garden. It's not like I'm a farmer with who knows optimal yield. All right, I'm not that country. So I mean, this is saying that there is going to be some pain ahead. So that's May. What was it? May 17th. Now let's go to Bitcoin price. Let's go to May 17th. Nope, it was during the drop. Right there. It was right there. May. Yep. So it was in the middle of Wyckoff. Why would Bitcoin dominance be at a low then? So it didn't spike down after it touched it. It just floated down. All right, let's do another one. I don't think Bitcoin dominance is supposed to be that low. How far back does Bitcoin dominance go? Yeah, it only goes back to 2020. So Bitcoin didn't pull out of the bear market, or I mean it didn't pull out of the bear market until about October. And Bitcoin dominance back here, had it been graphed, So let's say this is 2017 at the top, 20K top. Bitcoin dominance was like relative. So if it was like this, let's say it was in this channel at that time, Bitcoin dominance is really low because altcoins were flying, and Bitcoin dominance had to go up, and that's during the drop. So during the big drop of from 2020, from 20K in 2017 down to, I think it went straight to, I think it did something insane on a wick. I think it might have hit 7,200 on that first descent down over a course of 2 weeks. And Bitcoin dominance spiked up. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Bitcoin dominance should be this low if this is max bear market. It's looking pretty nasty. But that's more long-term stuff. I'm kind of getting off topic here. But Bitcoin dominance going down that low, the more immediate point though is, if it's going down, that means altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up to almost 21K, and just to touch that yellow line that I was talking about, alts are going to outperform it big time, right? So I could be about a week or two too early on my bearishness. So make sure everybody's aware with that. That is on the table. Now, know that tomorrow there is high impact economic data that comes out, and it could really change things. So what, like I said in the very beginning of the stream in this video, is that it depends on how Friday closes, right? So during my earlier Bitcoin video today, on the SPX chart, I gave exact coordinates on how to draw it. That's the same line you need to be looking at. If SPX tomorrow, so let me put it on behind me. But for folks who haven't seen that one, I give the exact coordinates so you can have the exact same line. So tomorrow you can look at the exact right thing. So tomorrow, not without diving into what the economic news is, you can check it out on forexfactory.com. That's honestly among the best tools out there for financial or traditional finance type of stuff. But so this line that I gave, if there's a good closure tomorrow, I mean, hell, even spiking up and coming down below it and then closing above, I think that's a solid closure. If tomorrow closes above this line tomorrow, then and then it closes for the weekend because this stops trading, right? Then Bitcoin and alts will have permission to roll up all weekend and into next week. And if this is a strong close, that gives it a better chance that next week it'll bounce there before going down. So that would give permission for alts and Bitcoin, to go up, for alts to go up longer, but for Bitcoin to go sideways longer, sideways / up, like those fractals were. They weren't downward slope. They had some chops up. So this closure tomorrow is going to be a big ass deal. And I don't know I don't know how to define a good closure. I'm not really for sure. I think it's going to be one of those cases you're going to know it when you see it. So for some reason, I can't put my finger on if this, then, a definition, if this or better, then good closure. I can't think of it. I think we're just going to have to wait to see what it does. But if you start seeing go below tomorrow, let's go to the 5-minute chart. If it starts going below this line for which I gave the coordinates, and use it as resistance, and then takes out the low. So in order to use this line as resistance, you have to go below it, right? So it goes below it, then uses it as resistance. If you take out the low that you made in order to then create a resistance, that is a bad closure. I mean, shit's going to accelerate if you get that happening. If it simply gets to this point here, it still has a chance to have a good closure. So tomorrow, if you take me up on drawing that line with coordinates, don't freak out and do 100x leverage shorts just because it goes below it. It could easily have a nice closure above, and then crypto just freaking flies over the weekend through the next week. So, Cosasverdes, they said, no. It can go below it. But if it goes below, then used as resistance, then takes out the low it made before using it as resistance, that would be your a strong edge to the downside. And really anything, significantly better than what I just drew, I would potentially consider a good closure. I mean, maybe even a daily closure right under this, just even it hangs on, I still think that would at minimum give Bitcoin and crypto permission to ride up over the weekend. So this could get hotter. And, I've been fairly famous on, for, well, I'm not famous, but I've been famous for calling drops about a week too early. But I could feel it coming, but I'm 7 to 14 days too early. I did that in a few times in March and April when we had the 30% dip, then a 20% dip as it inched up to 64K. I felt it coming about a week too early. So, but just a heads up, these are the possibilities. So you might want to throw on the daily 21. Here's like in summary, how to manage the charts and feel really in control. Like I know what's going to happen within the realm of reason, right? Like anything beyond this would be surprising, and I know how to define it. So what's going to help you identify that is this blue line. Number 2, how the closure is tomorrow. And then the daily 21 on Bitcoin. If good closure tomorrow, then daily 21 Bitcoin is going to be your best freaking friend. If bad closure tomorrow, forget the daily 21. It ain't going to be it. And we're going down. And that is how you just those 2 things is going to help you significantly in the charts. And then if it does have a bad closure, then we'll be, at least on Discord, we'll be partying, rocking and rolling with our shorts in hand. But I'll have to give you your new best friend and new targets down below using the channel. If tomorrow's a bad closure. So that's what I'm focusing on. And, we won't have a follow-up to this until later in the day on Friday. So it won't be the morning that you're going to be able to tell. So that is it for this Bitcoin segment.